and that's in Japanese it's Okami no kodomo no ame to Yuki. But it's directed by Mamoru, okay, I can't remember his name, Mamoru Hosoda? Yeah, and he's the director from Summer Wars, which is one of my favorite movies, aside from all the great Ghibli movies that you can find, of course, too, here. But it was a really, really good movie. We'd seen The Girl Who Jumps Through Time, I think is what the name of the other one of his movies is, and we weren't really that impressed by it, so we're a little hesitant going to see it. My daughter was insanely excited to go see it, and we made a challenge for her to read so many numbers of English books and so many numbers of Japanese books, and if she cleared it all, then we could go. So we've been kind of a big anticipation for our summer vacation, and I have to say it was really, really good. I think I still like Summer Wars maybe a little better, but the general storyline is that there's a girl who falls in love with a wolf, or a wolf man, if you will, and then they get married. Well, they don't get married, I shouldn't say that. They get together, and they have 2 kids, and live their life as well as they can. And then an accident happens, which that's not really explained, but the husband dies, the father, the wolf guy dies, and leaves her with these 2 little children to raise. And of course, it's a challenge, because how do you raise some child that's like that, that's like a half kind of in between of being a wolf person and a human. So there's a lot of scenes with them as little child when they're really small and being just absolutely adorable as they kind of unknowingly metamorphose into this half dog kind of thing. The mom keeps telling them to hide their ears and stuff like that to make sure that they behave, but it's super adorable. So that part of it was very cute. And then it kind of goes into, though, for the mother, how do you raise them? What do you do when they're sick? There's a really funny moment where she's like trying to choose between taking them to the vet or taking them to the doctor, and she winds up just calling into the hotline to see if she can get some help. It's a challenge because they are part wolf. Some of their diet and stuff, they have a hard time enjoying just regular old human food. So it was kind of cute to watch all that. But then she definitely realizes that, it's not safe to be there because everybody kind of seems to be watching her all the time, and she kind of escapes to a very rural part of Japan, which reminded me a lot of our home where we live here. Our place is maybe not quite as rural, but pretty close, and I guess that's a pretty popular thing for people to do these days, to escape to rural Japan, thinking that either as an elderly person you can have a nice retirement there, or as a young person, you can, make a living without having to work as a salaryman. And it's usually comical to the people that are from that town, because it's not as easy as it looks living in a small town and being a farmer. And most people fail and just run away and go back to the city after about a year. But this mother has to make it work, so she tries her best to learn to farm, and meanwhile trying to hide her children's, strange defect of being half wolf. So, but the story was really good, and I felt a little bit of a connection to it because I have half children myself. Of course, not half wolf, but it's almost the same stigma here. My children being half American and half Japanese. People do always stare, and we are always faced as a family, where do we raise our children? Do we raise them in Japan? Do we raise them in America? Do we raise them in Zimbabwe? Who knows? It's always a tough decision. Certainly not the same kinds of decisions she has to make, but it was still, interesting to kind of see and feel that kind of familiar feeling of being stuck and having people watch you all the time and judge you of what you're doing. But, and then just watching this mother do these amazing things and working so hard, physically just working so hard to try to help make her family survive. I thought that was really cool, and not something we see anymore these days. I think about how strong my grandfather was. He was a farmer, and he lived to be 96 and just had so much energy. Would wake up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning to do chores, and he just, despite being old and even having a bent back in his old age, he was still stronger than most people I knew. And I think, as a whole general concept of the human race, we're just getting weak, and that's not good. So it made me, want to try my best to do even more for my children if I could, and definitely, realize that you can do so much with so little, and, just that maybe, trying to do more of those things for your family can be a good thing. So it was really good in that sense. So if you guys get a chance to see it, I know these kinds of movies take a while. If you don't live here, you won't get a chance to see it right away. Depending on the country you're in, you have to wait until it's on DVD, or occasionally you might be able to see it at some of the, what they call those artsy movie theaters where they show manga, anime, excuse me, where they show those things. But if you get a chance to see it, I would highly recommend it. I thought it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, so that was my kind of review about the movie. I'd love to hear if you guys had any great movies that you got a chance to see. I know there's always some wonderful flicks from the summer. I know a lot of people were really anticipating seeing the Batman movie. I know that I was excited to finally see Hunger Games when I was on the airplane coming home from America. I was like, yes, I finally got to see it because I had been wanting to see it for so long, and wouldn't you know it, now it's finally getting a lot of buzz here, and it will be showing in the movie theaters soon here. So about time that finally came, but I knew it would take a while, but it did take a little longer than I expected. So, but I'd love to hear if you guys had any great, wonderful summer movie experiences before we dive into fall here with September just around the corner. So if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll hope to see you guys on Friday. Thanks.